Welcome to our new program, Cooking with Atomy. Please enjoy.
Well, hello there. Here's another Cooking with Atomy video using Atomy products in a new way. Today's video, we will be using Atomy ham to make an amazing spaghetti sauce. How good, you ask? I'm glad you did. Our upline Star Master, who doesn't like spaghetti, likes this recipe. So give it a shot. I think Atomy will like this one. So, like any good recipe, there's some prep work that needs to be done. I will spare a long drawn out video of me chopping. So, what we need to do is get some ham, cube it up, and then smash it up to a ground meat size portion. Then get some celery, chop it up, and fill up the Atomy tin. That's the portion we need. Quick little tip, don't throw away all those trimmings from the celery. The leaves, chop them up, put them in the freezer, and use them for soups or stocks. They're good, and there's no need to throw them away. We'll take a carrot or two, chop it up, and again, fill the Atomy tin. Lastly, here comes the onions. Get ready for a little cry, but we need them. So chop them up, fill up in the Atomy tin, and there you go. We're ready to get cooking. We will also need the basso oil and the garlic, the pre-cooked garlic that we've done in another video. I'll link it below. It's spaghetti. We need herbs, 1 tablespoon of each: parsley, thyme, rosemary, basil, and oregano. Finally, a 680 gram bottle of generic garlic tomato sauce. Okay, let's get started. And welcome to the live part of the show. Now that all the prep has been done, let's get to the fun part, the cooking. We've got our 5-liter Atomy pan. Let's give it some heat, and we're going to add the basso oil from Atomy. Just enough, you know the drill. We want to get that up and warm. Then the vegetables that we prepared, we're going to cook the onions first. We want to sweat them off and get a little bit of brown color on them before we add the rest. So the oil's hot. Let's add our onions. Yes, there's little pieces of carrots. We'll live with that. So the goal here is to add some color. The biggest mistake a lot of home cooks make is they're always touching the food. Put it in, let it cook, give it a mix, let it cook. So give it a stir. Get everybody back on the heat. And then we let it cook again. So you can hear the sound of the sizzle disappearing a little bit. It's time for another stir. We'll let it keep cooking, but it's going to start browning soon. You're going to see the onions go from white to clear, and then the next step after that will be the browning, of course. And at that point, we want to add the rest of the vegetables. Okay, we can start seeing a little bit of color here. The tips are starting to brown. Now we want to brown the onions to add some flavor. Because we're making things not 100% from scratch here, we want to add some flavor. Browning the onions will do that. Okay, here we go. Everybody else into the pool. Now, if you've watched another video, you'll notice or remember that we brown our garlic ahead of time. So we've got some of that here. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of garlic and a little bit of the garlic oil. The large chunks of garlic you see there, they'll break down in the cooking process. And now we want to cook this off till it gets soft. Now that the veg is in and has started the cooking process, we will add our herbs. If you're using dry herbs, you start adding them at the beginning of the cooking process. If you're using fresh herbs, we add them at the end. So remembering, let it cook, but we still have to give it a stir every couple minutes. And we want to keep going until our vegetables break down and become soft. Okay, our veggies are softened up, and we're going to stop the process here and put this aside. So, I know what you're thinking. Arnold, you haven't added the ham yet. I know. Spaghetti is normally made with beef. Because we're not using beef, we're using Atomy in new ways, we have to do a little extra to the ham. In this case, we need to saute it off and brown it up. This will change the flavor and it'll change the texture. So let's fire up some heat. We're going to add a little of the basso oil. So our pan is warm. Let's get the ham, as we say, into the pool. Again, put it in and let it cook. Give it some time to cook. Don't play with it. And like always, after it sits for a minute, we give it a mix. You can see the color starting to come. That's what we want. But we don't have enough color yet, so let's keep going. So this will start, as it starts to brown, it will brown quickly. So at a certain point, you're just going to have to stand over it and pay attention. But we're still not quite there yet. So you can see that we're starting to see more brown than non-brown. The ham color is starting to go away for the cooked color. As I said earlier, this will change the texture. It'll give it a firmer texture, more like beef, and it will also add a caramelized flavor, again, getting away from the ham taste. Okay, we're getting close, so time to stand close and just finish it off. We want brown, we don't want crunchy. So anything with a lot of fat and a protein in it will change very quickly from browning to crunchy, and we don't want that. So we will stop right here. We will bring back our mixture, get it back on the heat, and add the caramelized ham. We will now at this time also add our generic flavorless spaghetti sauce. Remember, there's still lots of sauce left inside. Put a little bit of water inside, give it a shake, pour it in, and it makes the cleanup a lot easier. At this point now, we just want to bring everything up to a simmer. We want to incorporate the flavors that we have cooked with the vegetables and the meat into the sauce. This I'll let simmer for maybe 20 minutes, just at a very low bubble. You got to give it a mix every once in a while. At this point, try it, but don't add the salt and the pepper until it's cooked for a while, because there's a lot of salt in the ham. That will have an effect, and everybody's salt taste is different. So in about 15 minutes after it's bubbled away for a while, check it for salt, and salt to your personal taste. So if you have a look inside, you can just see a very light bubble. That's what I mean by letting it simmer away. This is what we want. Now, like anything, you have to give it a stir, otherwise things will burn. No matter how low the heat, if there's heat, it can burn. So give it a simmer, give it a stir, and when the flavor profile reaches what you want, after about, like I said, 10-15 minutes, you're good to go. Okay, time's up. At this point, just finish off with salt and pepper to your personal tastes or your family's tastes. Turn the heat off. Let it sit here for a few minutes just to take the edge off of the heat, and then transfer it into your storage containers, however you want to do that. Personally, I put it into small zipper bags and I freeze them off and just take them out as I need them. This will sit in your freezer for 3 or 4 months with no problems at all. Take it out, defrost it, heat it up in a saucepan, put it over your pasta, and away you go. I'll make another video on ways you can change this into other foods, other meals, and we'll see you next time. And there you have it, all done. Add it to your favorite pasta, put on your favorite cheese, and enjoy. We'll see you again.